There are a lot of patterns. There are tens of different patterns. It could be an ascending triangle, cup and handle, head and shoulders, pennants, bull flags, bear flags. There are a lot of patterns out there. Hey everyone, this is Ayman and today I'm going to talk to you about patterns. Patterns are one of the things that we are starting to study when we are getting into the market. It's one of the basic things that you need to understand just to be able to read the charts correctly. There are a lot of patterns. There are tens of different patterns. It could be an ascending triangle, cup and handle, head and shoulders, pennants, bull flags, bear flags. There are a lot of patterns out there. Now the question is this: are they working? Is it worth even looking for them? Is it worth studying them? Now here's the question: is it worth looking for patterns? Are they working? Is it worth studying them? Now why am I asking this question? It's because if you would search for these patterns and for different YouTube videos or read different books, you'll find two groups of people. The first group of people, they will be trying to convince you that these patterns are not working. They're not something that you need to study at the current times. It's something that used to work before, but it's not working at the current time. The other group of people will be trying to convince you that these patterns, they are still working same way they used to work before. You just need to put an effort to study them. You need to put some specific criteria into them, and eventually, after a lot of hard work, similar to anything, these patterns will be working. Now let me give you an example. Take a look at this. You can see a few bull flags, ascending triangles, or descending triangles, and a few setups that didn't work. Take a look at this. Failed, 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 failed. And I could go on. On the other hand, you could take a look at these setups. Worked, 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 also worked, and worked. And I could give you a lot of other examples that worked. Now, if you think about it, who should I believe? This guy around here, he's showing me a lot of examples for setups that work, and this other guy, he's showing me a lot of examples for setups that are failed. Both are making a nice point. So are they working, or either are they not? I mean, what if I get into 100 bull flag and only 10 work? And what if I get into 100 ascending triangle, maybe and 90 work? I mean, it's difficult to tell if I will get this amount of winners or if I'm going to lose more. It requires an in-depth study to come into some conclusion. But let me just talk to you about it in this way. Some of you are volume traders, right? Some of you are trading the level 2 and the time and sales. Some of you are trading, I don't know, any other indicators, MACD, RSI, etc. I bet that you're not trading an indicator alone or an indicator by itself. If you see a huge ask on the level 2, which indicates that there are some buyers sitting up there, or some sellers, sorry, sitting up there, it doesn't mean that the price is going to go up, right? Same thing, if you see an increasing volume at the high of the trend, it doesn't necessarily mean a reversal. It could mean that there is a pullback is about to happen, or maybe we're breaking around a major level. So an increasing volume by itself doesn't necessarily mean a reversal. It could be an ignition volume, it could mean that there is a pullback, or it could mean that there will be a reversal, right? So you do not trade an indicator alone. Now patterns, they are no different. You do not trade them alone. If you trade every single bull flag out there, you will not make money. And I'll go with that other guy that's telling you that they are not working anymore. If you are trading them with some other specific indicator, or not necessarily an indicator, at least if you're playing them with the direction of the overall trend, now that will give you an edge. Let me show you this. Take a look at this chart around here. You could see that the stock is in a clear uptrend, which just broke a major resistance, a major level, right? Now, if you see that on the daily chart and the stock is finally breaking a strong level, is there a point playing it to the short side? I personally am going to be looking for long setups. Now take a look at this. It's the same stock, but in a smaller time frame. You could see a bear flag starting to form on this stock. Is it worth playing it? The stock just broke a major level. It is strong. It is in an uptrend. So any potential short patterns, I'm going to ignore them. No point playing them. Now take a look at this. You are seeing a bull flag forming on a stock that broke a strong level, on a stock that is on an uptrend. Is it worth playing this setup? Yes, it is. Is it going to work? I don't know. Not necessarily. But at least now you have an edge. you are playing a setup with the direction of the overall trend. So in short, if you want a setup to work, if you want to trade patterns, you do not trade a bull flag only because it's a bull flag. You do not trade an ABCD pattern only because it's an ABCD pattern. You do not trade an ascending triangle only because it looks like an ascending triangle. You need to play it with the direction of the overall market, or at least you need to combine it with something else that will give you an overall edge to that. This way, patterns will work better. But playing a bull flag or a head and shoulders on the 1 minute chart because you saw a couple of shoulders and a head up there against the overall direction, I doubt you will have any success in that. Good, but not necessarily. Now let me tell you something that could help you identify patterns and maybe even find a setup or a pattern or a set of behavior, a specific set of behavior that is still not available out there in the webinars or courses or in the internet, right? For example, you know me, I'm trading parabolic reversal, and a parabolic reversal is a reversal that I came up with based on my experience watching the chart. How did I come up with it? I saw that if the price gets so extended from the 9 moving average on the 5 minute chart, similar to this screenshot that you see right here, right now, the price usually pulls back down into the 9 moving average. So I told myself, why not trying to make a setup out of here, study this behavior, watch it on a smaller time frame, and then try to catch that pullback on a smaller, and try to make money based on it. I started studying different time frames, going from the day to the 60, to the 5, to the 1, to the volume, and I came up with a specific set of rules that allowed me to catch reversals similar to these ones that you can see around here. Now, how did I come up with it? How did I understand or figure out that this setup would be working well over the long term? The answer is simple. 80% of market volume is controlled by algos. And algos are trading in an if, so, else. If you see that, do that, else do that. There will be a lot of rules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, check, 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 check. And if all of them are meeting the criteria, the algorithm will execute the order and then it will manage it based on the trade management rules that it has in it. Now, remember this, algorithms, they're not right there to get you stopped out. Algorithms are there to make money. If they can make money, they'll make money. They will not be using a lot of buying power trying to go down there to get your 50 or 20 shares that you have and get you stopped out of your trade. That's not how they work. So like we were saying, there are a lot of algos, tens of algos, hundreds of algos, actually even thousands of algorithms. There are IT members who are trading and they are making an algorithm to execute their trades based on their criteria so that they do not break the rules. We humans, we have emotions. We tend to overtrade, revenge trade, and if you have a strategy that is working, that you have personally backtested and you know that it's actually good in the long term, it is easier to write a script that an algorithm or that a bot can execute instead of you without having any feelings. That's amazing, right? So there are a lot of IT members that are doing that for themselves. There are a lot of institutions that are having their own algorithms. On the other hand, there are also market makers, right? That they are having their own set of algorithms. So one single stock and one huge market, and there are tens or hundreds of algorithms are looking for some specific criteria to execute the trade. Now there are tens of algorithms, or 100 or hundreds of algorithms watching the same stock, watching for a specific set of behavior to execute their trade, and that causes that chaos in the market. Sometimes you have something which is uptrending, sometimes something which is downtrending, something stuck in a channel, something that doesn't make any sense, right? But this behavior is caused because of these algos. Now you do not need to trade every single thing out there. All you need to do is spot one specific set of behavior that is common, that is reoccurring often. Step number 2, isolate it from the chaos, take enough of screenshots, study how it works, isolate it, and then study it deeply. How did the daily look at that moment? How did the 60 look at that moment? How did the 5-minute chart look at that moment? How did the 1-minute chart look at that moment? How did the time and sales behave around this level? How did the level 2 look right there? How did volume look at that specific place? Once you study it enough, and once you come up with a specific set of criteria, go back to some stock in place that we had in the past. And by the way, guys, if you are looking for a specific stock in play from the past that you want to backtest your strategy on, you can click on the link down below. It's Beautiful Traders Market Replay. Every single week we're uploading the whole watch list for all the moderators for that particular week, and you have data for the past 6 months that you can use to study and to practice your specific strategy on. Now, like I was telling, study that strategy, come with a specific set of rules, and now you need to practice it on the real market, right? Or even better, practice it on the past, on the market from the past. So what you can do, you can go to our free stock trading simulator. It is available for everyone, and you have also a watch list from the past. You have your specific set of criteria that you are looking for. Open that simulator, open that stock on that specific day, and study it. This way, you can make sure and check if the setup is actually working, and if it is working long term. Now you are ready to study it, or now you are ready to trade it in the real market. So this is it, guys. We're coming to the end of our video. I just wanted to answer one simple question. Are patterns worth trading in 2022? Are they still working in the present the same way they worked in the past? The answer is yes. In the past, right now, in the future, I do believe that patterns are still working and will be working, but you need to make sure that when you're trading patterns, you do not trade the pattern alone. You need to combine it with other indicators. You need to combine it with the overall market, and if you do that, I certainly believe that in the long term, they should work well. If you are trading a pattern just because it looks like a shoulder, or head and shoulder, just because it looks like a cup and handle, I don't see anyone succeeding in the long term trying to force something only because it looks like something, right? That's it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Write down your questions if you have any questions. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know. If you have any ideas, any suggestions for future videos, I'll be more than happy to make them. Have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye bye.